Honestly though, current mood always. Hey you guys, it's Kian, and as you can tell, I'm not in my normal location. Speaking of being on property that isn't my own, wow, that segue couldn't have been more of a stretch if it was made of rubber. Anyways, I posted a poll on my Twitter asking you guys what you wanted to see, which I think I want to start doing more, so follow me on Twitter so you can vote on those polls. Most of you guys voted for me to tell you the story of the time I was kicked out of a store, and there's where that stretch of a segue ties it. This one hair is not cooperating right now. Be a team player, fam. Now this story goes back to when I was still in film school, and something you should know about moving out to LA is that you are going to meet some interesting people. So I didn't make many friends when I was in film school, and if I did, they weren't with people who were in my class. But you know, I'd still go to class, I'd still be nice to people, even if we didn't interact outside of that. But of course in school, there are always group projects. The inevitable biggest fear of an introverted college student. That's me. A lot of people in film school are very outgoing, but there was this one person in particular in my class, who I won't name by name. He was a pretty tall guy, average build, maybe mid to late 30s, early 40s, and I swear to you, like every other week he would come into class with his hair dyed a different color. One week it was orange, another week it was purple, next week it was rainbow, which was cool, and I have nothing wrong with people dyeing their hair. I mean, obviously I can't say anything about people dyeing their hair, but because he was a little on the odd side, people didn't really want to work with him. I would often get paired with him on projects, and it could get a little uncomfortable at times. So a little more background on him. He would always have his eyes very wide when talking to you, and always just like a straight face, just like... He talked about how he drank coffee 3 times a day. Like, our school was right across the street from a Starbucks, so between classes or on breaks, he would go to Starbucks and get more coffee. And he said he'd do that 3 times a day. Now, I'm no doctor, but I don't think that's good for you. He also had this tendency to like waddle back and forth while he was talking to you. So picture him wide-eyed, cup of coffee in his hand, waddling back and forth talking to you. So like, hey. He'd often try to force conversation with everybody because nobody would really talk to him. He also had a very loud and booming voice. Like when he's talking, you can hear him talking. So, you know, as classmates who would often work together, we had to exchange information to be able to keep touch outside of class for projects. However, he then used the information like my name and stuff to look me up online, found my YouTube channel and my Twitter, which is fine, like all of that's public. But the fact that he kind of did the lurking himself is what makes it weird. He then also comes up to me in class one day after seeing my proposal video and is just like, oh, I'm gonna take my glasses off for effect. Hey, I saw your proposal video online. Oh, you did? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so like, are you guys planning on having kids? Yeah, you know, someday we want to. Oh, would you like adopt or would you like surrogate? You know, I'd like to surrogate, but I'm not opposed to the idea of adoption. And the next thing he says to me is what scares me a little bit more about him. Yeah, I thought about adopting a kid myself too, but they won't let me do it because I'm bipolar. Oh yeah, that sucks. Now, I want to clarify, I understand that being bipolar is a mental illness, and I don't want to make it something shameful or bad, but nonetheless, I was still a little more skeptical about working with him. So, fast forward a little bit, we're in class one day, and we are assigned a film project where we have to shoot our own independent commercial. The school really instructed us on following the rules of filming in LA. So, say for example, you live in a smaller town and you want to make like a YouTube video. Asking permission from a store manager or a family friend to use, say, their store or their home to shoot on is okay. In LA, it's not that simple. You need the proper permits, which you have to pay for, to shoot on those locations. Otherwise, you could very easily get shut down and even face legal troubles. So our teachers always told us, follow these rules even for your projects, because they wanted to get us ready for the industry. So after we get the assignment, we group up, and he tells me he wants to shoot a commercial for Preparation H. Preparation H, if you don't know, is a hemorrhoid cream. I'm just like, as if this project couldn't get any more uncomfortable. So he's setting the scene for me. We have a guy. He sits down on a bench and he's uncomfortable because presumably he has hemorrhoids. So he proceeds to try to inconspicuously scratch his butt on objects like the bench, or a fire hydrant, or a tree. And then he decides he can't take it anymore. So he walks into a pharmacy, buys some Preparation H, goes into a public restroom, and uses it. Now, this is an actual project that we ended up shooting. There's a Walgreens pharmacy right next to our school, which is the closest place that we could shoot it. So the day before we're about to shoot, we meet up, and I ask him, oh hey, did you happen to get the permits for Walgreens so we can shoot in there? And he looks me in the face with a slight grin and says to me, yeah, no, I didn't want to do that. It was too much work. I'm like, okay, so you are planning on going into a public establishment in Los Angeles with a camera, filming illegally essentially, hoping to not get kicked out or have the cops called on us. I was like, cool, just ignore all the instruction the school gave us. Like, I get it, it's annoying, it's tedious, but I'm not trying to get sued for filming a student project in a Walgreens. So then the day comes around and we're shooting on the street and we have our actor scratching his butt on the bench. He walks up to a tree and scratches his butt on that. Finally, we get to the Walgreens and I suggest to him, hey, you know, why don't we actually just film him going into the Walgreens and then coming out with the Preparation H? And so he says to me, no, it's okay, we won't get in trouble, it's fine. And so I'm like, okay, I've tried everything to reason with you, we're just gonna do this. However, I am begging you, we have to keep our voices down when we are in Walgreens shooting. Even if you're giving me directions, I just want to look like I'm carrying a camera and happen to be in Walgreens. So having said that, I thought I would be okay, but like I said, he has a booming loud voice. So we get to the aisle where the Preparation H is, we start planning out the shot and I'm like trying to do it quietly. I'm asking him questions in like a soft whisper and he responds to my soft whispers with, okay, yeah, so in this shot you're gonna go down the aisle and look for the Preparation H until you find it and then you're gonna grab it. And I'm like, oh my god, keep your voice down, we're gonna get kicked out. And so, you know, mistakes happen, so we had to do multiple takes of this, all the while giving us loud directions like, yeah, no, do this instead, make sure he's in focus, zoom in on him, yada yada yada. And while he is giving me directions for this shot, a Walgreens employee walks by and I'm like, oh my god, she knows now that we are filming in here and we are gonna get shut down so quickly. Luckily, we wrapped up, we got the shot we were looking for, and everything was great. But then the Walgreens manager comes up to us and he very kindly says, hey, you guys, you can't be filming here, this is a public establishment, you don't have the proper permits, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. And I can't even believe what came out of his mouth next to the Walgreens manager. He says to him, oh, we're not allowed to film in here? Oh, okay, yeah, we'll go, sorry. What? You didn't know you weren't allowed to film in there? Despite what our professor told us to do in order to get permission to film in a public place? Gosh, that's one expensive film school education you spent your money on to not learn anything. Hope the student debt was worth it. So after we leave the Walgreens, we're trying to figure out where to shoot the last part where the guy's supposed to go into the bathroom. So he takes us to a coffee shop right up the street from Walgreens, where they supposedly have an unlocked bathroom. So I tell him again, hey, you know, we're going into a public place, let's try not to be loud because we could get shut down like that again. And once again, he ignores me. So we get into this coffee shop and the bathroom is luckily behind the counter so nobody could really see us. We film him from behind, walking toward the bathroom door. As we're doing this, a woman comes out of the women's restroom and into our shot. Like just a civilian, like she wasn't an extra. She didn't get any residual checks from this. She just was there when our camera was rolling. So that was uncomfortable. Then we get the shot of him coming out of the bathroom with the Preparation H in his hand so we can get a close-up and pan up to his face going, ah, and scene. But yeah, so that's the story of getting kicked out of a Walgreens during one of the most uncomfortable, no, actually, the most uncomfortable group project of my life. So anyways guys, that's it for the video. Comment down below your most uncomfortable group project experience because I really want to hear it. I frankly need the solidarity. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below for future videos. Also, don't forget to follow me on all my social media. Links will be down in the description. But until next time, I'm JustKyian, and I was kicked out for filming in a Walgreens. Okay, bye you guys.